Welcome back. This is the finals of the Teaching League. Both players have pretty good hands. We've got Opus and ways to break stuff, or to get a breaker at least. For Kit, Wayland has no money, but they have probably the worst ice. They have Sea Source and Scorch, though, which is interesting. Which means if you go for a turn 1 score, you could catch him with too few of cards. I think I might have mulliganed this as Grindle just because the ice is so terrible. But he's gonna jam away. This quandary is just awful though. But this might be going for the old turn 2 win. Like it would work if it got stim hacked, I think. You'd have a decent chance of working. Question is, Kit, as always, is do you hurt your tempo to go get this, or do you just Opus? I think this is the wrong play. I think you should attack this advanced card. You should at least check it out last click. Nope, not gonna do it, just taking 6. Restructure's an awkward draw. You can't play it, your agenda will get stolen. You gotta score this. Score this, discard snare probably. Oh no, he doesn't have discard. What am I thinking? For some reason I thought he hadn't drawn yet. But where do you go from here? Because your ice that you have down is absolutely terrible. Whoa! He could die here. This could be the end of the game. If he hits the snare. Ooh. Because he would have to shake the tag, and he'd have to pay to trigger the snare though. Wouldn't be able to do it, I don't think. He could like Atlas for Beanstalk. It's possible. There's ways Kits could have finished the turn to die. But more bad ice. I think you're in trouble here. That's why I didn't like keeping this hand. It looks okay on turn 1, but then you have nowhere to go. Like you score 1 agenda and then you have kind of a useless remote. I don't like this aggressive play. It's working because he's stealing a lot of points, but I think you should kind of just sit there. Oh, the last click run? He could lose! Oh. He is almost dead. If there was one more credit difference, be game over. Got to be ahead by $6 to Sea Source double Scorch. He can search for the second Scorch with the Atlas counter. It's probably doing the math 7 times. You can't kill him here, so you just get a bunch of money. See, I don't know about icing R&D here. You want him to run. I mean, he might win, but I don't know. Kind of want him to run. Now you're in a tough spot because you can't even put down an agenda to make him run. you could like fast track for hostile and see if he like runs HQ, and then score it next turn if he doesn't. That's a good one. The quandary on the remote has more than 0 value because if you're going to get blind femmed, having like more face down ice is good. So it has value just as a face down ice. So I don't know if I'd trash it. It's hard to say though. Double archer is pretty good, but it is hard to res. I think you really, now you got all these archers, you really need to get this hostile takeover. So fast track hostile, install snare is pretty good. Just gonna put the archer there, really sell it. Yeah, putting the ice there is good. It makes it less likely to get run, though. But he's got the tinkering, so I think he might bite on this. Saying he lost 3 turns ago. I think didn't keep a great hand here. It's easy to like snap keep hands that have Seasource Scorch, but oh, that's too bad. And now he doesn't have the money to kill him either. It's been too long. Needed to make this play a turn ago. So now what? You make the old Wayland concede play. I mean, I guess it's possible that Kit like hasn't found a breaker yet. It's been 10 cards, but yep. Well, that was a quick one. I think it was a bad keep for Wayland. Don't think that hand was good enough. Just because you really need a barrier in your opening hand against this. And there's a lot of them in the deck, so I think you got to throw that hand away. All right, that was quick. Yeah, there were a lot of points where he could have died. Just when you steal the one 3-pointer, things do get a lot easier. Wow, look at this casual lobby game. No Kit or Crim. Oh man, this spark hand is like the absolute nuts against Kit. Wraparound is like the best ice in your entire deck. And then you have like really good money. This is amazing. You can put him on $3 turn 1 too. Pretty sick. Yeah, like the kill cards are, if you've got them, it's good. I mean, a lot of games actually, when you do win, they do end in a kill but it's because you have 5 points and you make them run or like hard install FM or something, and then you kill them because you're about to win. So they can help, but they're not even close to plan A. Ruby left the game. It's kind of too bad. What happened? Oh, he is not playing a legal deck, apparently. I accidentally clicked on his modified version of the deck instead of the legal one. Makes sense. Alright. Kit mulliganed into this. This isn't terrible, because you can gamble QT and then you have, because you have Stim Hack, you have a lot of, you can draw SMC or Opus. So actually, like, the double lady is kind of awkward, but obviously against this it's worse. You kind of just have to credit, gamble, draw, or in some order. Or you could run, I guess. You could like run HQ. That's not the worst. Don't do this, guys. It looks good now because there's no agendas in his hand, but you should run HQ because he's played 3 non-agenda cards. There's more likely to be an agenda here. Unless you know your opponent never opens like this with an agenda because you have like outside information. If you just look at the odds, it's like way better to run HQ. But yeah, running is probably better than drawing there because you're gonna quality time next turn anyway. So yeah, it seems good. Yeah, Lady is actually like finding Lady is actually a big obstacle in this matchup a lot of the time because of wraparound. So already having it, even though you drew both, isn't the worst thing. Well, you want to play your Beth, and then you can SMC, Stim Hack, and get Magnum and trash all the remote. Ooh, I don't like this. You should have Stim Hacked this out. It's like a pretty big play to miss there. Discard Maker's Eye here. Pretty sure. Discards the other lady. So now he has to, I don't like that. This is a good card in this matchup. You're gonna, like, a lot of the time, like against HB, you pretty often go the whole game never playing it. But against this deck, you play it a lot of the time. So it's kind of nice to have it in your hand already. I missed the Spark Ice. I should have commented on what he put where, but I don't know. It'll be a surprise to me. On the Centrals, at least. This is the Bastion, right? That's like, this Caduceus Bastion, that's like excellent. So, got that going for you. I don't like all this draw. I don't like this diesel here. I think you should just take money. This is like really awkward. You can, and it's like you don't want to test run Scavenge Blade because you're gonna need this. You're gonna need a test run to get one of these ladies out, unless you want to like play another Gordian and like scavenge it into a lady, which I guess is okay. Well, lady wasn't the only reason his hand was good. His hand was good because it had gamble quality times stim hack. That's like pretty awesome. Yeah, Archangel into Sentry Barrier is like the perfect server for this matchup. Just gonna get the blade. Okay. Like this isn't awful. Given that he played the diesel, this is like a reasonable thing to do. So sweeps and install advance. There's no way it gets stolen. I mean, I guess there's Stimac is always a way, but he can't break the barrier as of now anyway. So he would need some more stuff. Especially if you do that. Is he gonna advance or sweeps? If you advance, you can't res all this stuff. I think the Archangel is kind of excessive here. Interesting. So this added a 3 credit tax, I guess. Alright, Workshop is a good draw. This low money dieseling kind of got bailed out by the Workshop here. It's normally not a great thing to do. I kind of like to take 8 once before I start drawing a bunch of cards, especially if I already have Beth, which is the only card that, aside from this I guess, that really benefits you from getting it right away. And we're going to score. That's good. Oh, that's true. Staying low money does matter against Beth. Giving him a credit instead of a card is pretty good when they have Magnum. It's a good point. Didn't think about that. But, I mean, there's the problem also of, like, what if he just doesn't have 5 cards again for a while? Or what if he stim-hacks something? Then your sweeps are, like, bad. So there's a lot of factors to think about. I think Spark is in a really good position. They're not, like, miles ahead or anything, but they're definitely winning. Alright, let's see what this is. Is this that assassin that he had? It's a pretty good back of R&D ice. But it's not great to res here. I'm gonna go to 0. That's tough. Because the thing is, if you let him makers for free anyway, you're not going to get anything to score on your remote because you don't have an agenda right now. I think if you have an agenda right now in your hand, you don't care about this. Ooh, ouch. All right, now Kit's winning. That was pretty good. I think normally a maker's like that isn't that good, but in this situation where if an agenda gets drawn, it's really bad because you can't contest this remote yet. It makes sense to try to stop them from drawing an agenda hoping that they don't already have one. So like I usually say, you want to control like from this way to this way. You want to control this, and then control this. But he's already lost control of this. And the fact that he scored an APD means that he probably doesn't have anything better in his hand. So that makers was actually a like early-ish game makers that I think wasn't that bad. It was actually pretty good. Obviously scored 2 agendas, so that helps, but also you have reason to think that there's a lot of agendas in there after they score this. It means they don't have, there's a lot of agendas that they definitely don't have. Unless you think they're like overly cautious. Should have got RDI out. Maybe. Yeah, he wouldn't have had 4. There's 3 NAPDs in this deck. Alright, kills the pad. I've noticed in this league, people kind of kill the pads at like really arbitrary times. I'm trying to figure out what they use to decide. Like, it was okay to kill it then, but there was probably a turn where it was better. Don't know. Maybe that was the best. But I guess it was good in that he's like not really going to be doing anything for a while. I don't like these draws. You need money. Quit drawing cards. Ooh. That card is so good. I would have just hosted interface rather than discard that. Very interesting game now. It's going to come down to a lot of remote guessing. Oh, did he? Yeah, so he did click to draw. It wasn't a Beth draw last time. This one is, though. Oh, quit drawing cards! Stop it. Like, look at what... I mean... I guess you could argue that you need more breakers in case an agenda gets drawn, but you're going to need more money, too. I feel like I'd rather have the money first, because then the corp doesn't know, like, where you stand. But if you're low money, they can, like, narrow the range of possibilities for what you can do a lot more. Bluffing against this is tricky because, like, once you have 3 ice, they often just tunnel on R&D for the rest of the game anyway. And they just end up running nothing. Maybe unless you advance it twice. Still drawing cards. I think he's just really afraid about not having this breaker, which is understandable. In this matchup, the only sentries that they have are tracers, so you don't necessarily ever need your Fem. You can Mopus your way through stuff. Like, it can get dicey, but if he'd kept these ladies, the amount of money he could make by not drawing could make it safe to faceplant one of these guys. Especially now that he already knows where one is. Yeah, Dino not helping you when you have Mopus, a breaker, and you need to SMC. It's a little awkward in that way. I kind of actually did that intentionally for a few reasons. One, thinking this deck might be too good, and I wanted to like cramp its progression to late game a little bit. Also, people love this card. And then it just makes you think more about how you do things. Okay. That was an NAPD, right? That he's gonna try to score soon. That's what I thought. Thought I saw. Yeah, and then the other thing for yeah, you could Dino scavenge Gordian onto it and then SMC. Hey, I actually suggest that in the article. Surprised I didn't think of that. Gordian on Dino is actually like really good here because they have multiple code gates over 4. Another reason the Dino's in there is because I got reports from a lot of players who used original versions of the decks that the Fem math against HB Ice was like really, really overwhelming and daunting for new people. Like Fem against Ichi and against Architect, it kind of became a headache for them. So it makes that a little bit easier. Oh, the HQ product placements. Pretty good. So what this legwork means that you think he's thrown garbage in here and is trying to bait you so that you can put in a real agenda. I feel like if there was a good agenda, it would have gone in the 3 ice remote. There's not only one GFI, there's no GFI left. I think, right? Yeah, it's 3 NAPD, 3 BL, 1 Astro, 2 GFI. So he's gonna have to score 4 2-pointers here.
You're right, that is a pain. But GFI is hard to score against this deck anyway. You often win scoring 4 agendas. Just because you end up in a spot where you can't really advance anything. Alright, he's going to Femosaurus here. Yeah, breaking that assassin, look at that. It is a tough ice to break otherwise, so this is pretty nice. It's super mimic. Yeah, that Femon pop-up, it's pretty trolly. Yeah, what you actually fem is tricky. Like this, putting it here only saves you $2 on every R&D run. It's not that great. I think I maybe would have put it here on the one of the remote ones. Because then with tinkering, you can 100% break this. Whew. Going deep. This Caduceus in here is like really terrible now. Normally that's a pretty great ice to have here because they have to break it for 4 and it doesn't cost you anything. But now it's garbage. You're gonna score again. Yeah, it has not been drawing great agendas. It's true. Ooh, this wraparound. That's pretty well placed and well timed. You're gonna pay 6. You're gonna need 4 for the assassin. So that puts you on 3, and you can definitely break whatever this is. So you will still get in, but this is very costly. And there will be one agenda from in the deck that you cannot steal. I forget what this ice is. Anybody know what this is? I don't know what this is. Yeah, not gonna get stuffed because it's got that extra strength on Fem. Go Dino go. I guess he could, if he really wants to go in with 4, he could take net damage, but his cards are really good. Definitely don't think you want to take net here. So since you're already under 4, you kind of might as well pull this other interface. Ooh. Thinking about trashing something. Probably Ash. Oh, it's launch campaign. I don't know if I would trash that. Product placement and nothing. Whew. Well, this server is nasty now. I mean, he'll be able to get in there again eventually, but NBN, you probably wish you had more money right now. So you could draw really hard and try to score. You kind of have to draw really hard anyway. Like if you do draw a 3-2 and you put it in there, it's not going to get run. He's going to think it's the product placement 100%. So I don't know if you can draw this turn, but alright, this is good. It actually makes him get lady out. Good. Good interns the launch campaign. Puts the product placement on R&D. I don't know. I feel like when he runs that again, you're pretty likely to just lose on the spot. Like you getting the 2 there, I don't know how great that is. But I guess what else are you going to do with it? Like you already have stuff you can bluff with. Beanstalk interns. Oh, should have interns the 4th ice on the remote. That's a good play. You don't blame him for missing it. Alright, this next turn you definitely have to go all draws as Corp. You're not going to win this way. Don't know what he's quality timing for. If there's 3 cards left in your deck as Kit, you probably drew too many cards. I think you want to host this Gordian on Workshop so you can get your lady by scavenging it. I guess you're going to just test run it, but I think this is cheaper. Maybe. Draw. The problem is it's probably too late now if he puts it. He needed to be. I think you need to bluff here. You need to put garbage in the remote. Hard to say. Sansan is like your really good draw. Because you can put that in and then it'll help you score. Gordian Scavenge just as good as Test Run. I'm thinking if it's on the Workshop and you end up not needing it right away, you might like save extra money from getting Workshop ticks on it. I think you want to think about also, like you can bluff with these Jacksons and then use them to either junk up R&D or break an R&D lock later. Yeah, nothing resed on the remote is not great. But part of that problem is like this money. This is all so expensive. Should have done the beanstalk interns for sure. Okay. We got all the breakers now. Now R&D just got like really cheap. This puts the lady on top, but that saves lady counters, which is a thing. You should use lady here because it's going on top anyway. Yeah, good play. Good catch. A lot of people would miss that, I think, and just use Gordian out of habit. Alright, pay 2. Man, look at this dino doing work. Saved $6 here. Crazy. You're gonna see 5 cards going in with more than 4. It should be the end of the game here. Would be nice to have used these Jacksons. Then you'd have 25 cards. It would look a lot better. Or if you could have some of your agendas in your hand, that would help. No, Fem saved 6 credits, didn't it? Oh, the dino. Yeah, because this is 2 anyway. I forgot this was femmed. I thought he was breaking it. But if he'd put the fem over here, it'd be saving 6. Ooh, we got a Archangel trigger. And Gordian was not used. So interesting if you pay the Archangel as kit here. Well, you have to break this. I mean, you feel like you have to, otherwise it bounces your dino, and that's really bad if you miss. But if you pay it and hit an APD, you're so sad. I don't know. What would you do, chat? Well, he can't. Yeah, he's if he lets it fire, why boost it? Because I mean, he could have broken it. He's gonna break it, so he could have broken it for 6 anyway. Whew. Last card, right? Yeah. That's close. Okay. Game 3. And if you're wondering, the loser is choosing sides in these games. They can pick whatever side they like. Don't have to do the opposite of the previous game if they don't want to. And they can play whichever of the decks they want. They don't have to play the same decks as they played before when those sides were played. So like if you play your favorite deck and they pick the worst matchup, next time you play that side you could pick a different deck if you want. Oh, wrong game. This one. No, all the rounds are just best of 3. Every round was best of 3 with loser choosing sides. Both the other rounds, the semifinals were both 2-0s. Both these guys 2-0'd their opponents. Alright, Sparkhand is okay. Wow, yeah, no PE in the finals. The winningest deck not making an appearance. So this NBN hand is borderline. The greedy man in me wants to mulligan it, but I would understand keeping. Don't think it's quite good enough though. This kid hand is certainly not good enough. I would toss this every time, but it was kept. I mean, it's one of the best non-magnum hands, like as in you don't have any way to get it, but it's still, I think it's still not good enough. Whew. Get to see what kind of a player you are here. Whether you put an ice on HQ or not. This Astro is a big, big deal. You could put it down naked here. You could put down the launch, the Astro, and the Sansan. There's a good chance it gets missed if you do that. Pretty gutsy play. And people used to do that stuff all the time. All the time. Now your one Astro is so precious. And I think Wizard also conditioned people to check everything. Because it's like so good to check when you're Wiz. Okay, this is respectable. I missed which ices where. I think I would want the booth on the remote. Hard to say. I mean, you could put pop up here. Wasting booth on HQ kind of sucks, but maybe you plan to never res it. I'd draw a card here. You really want to draw some more money. Kit is looking to not do a lot for a while though here. Has SMC, but it's kind of not great. Booth is on HQ, pop-up is on remote. So I think you just don't want to res. I think you put the booth on HQ just because you don't want it to get poked for free because you have two agendas. I don't think you're actually planning to ever res this booth. I think it's only a face down ice. And you put the pop-up here just to protect whatever like economy assets you draw, and you're not going to score out of this maybe. Like you just put your launches and stuff in here and like a pad eventually, and then you make another remote that you actually score with, and then you just don't ever res this one. I think like if you put pop up here, booth here, I don't know, this might get run, and then you lose it. And then booth in the back of your scoring remote here isn't ideal. So you could go new remote with Caduceus Sansan. Not terrible. It's gonna put. Is this Caduceus pop-up Astro? He didn't even put the Sansan, he just put the Astro in there? That's crazy. He sees no Magnum though, right? He knows Kit's not gonna attack. Pretty gutsy play. Well, it's a scoring server now. It has been decided. Oh, he's gonna run this. I think he's gonna sure gamble and then run. And he'll really like if this happens and it's Sansan, it's so good. Oh, he's just gonna get Magnum. Whew. All right, Astro time. Feels good. Makes the game a lot easier. I mean, this play worked out. We got more Low money drawing. Again, what I don't like about this is like it feels okay on your side, but look how it looks from the corp. They can so much narrow what you can do. If you have a pile of money and nothing in play, they worry about all the things that could be in your hand. And they commit resources, they overcommit resources to places. But if you're low, they can kind of they know what you have more, if that makes sense. No, we're not playing breaking news in this format. That's for sure. What was that? I misread Drew. Shoot. Guess it's a pad. Checking chat too much. A lot of things you can do as NBN here. But bluff looks pretty good. Yeah, Ash product placement is it's not the best combo. Just means you don't want to just mindlessly throw everything in here, not think about it. You should advance this, I think. I mean, how does this get stolen? He needs 8 to take it here. 2 for pop-up because you're Spark, that's 10. 3 for this, that's 13. And then 3 to trash Ash. Like, if they steal the AMPD and don't trash the Ash, you don't really mind. Whew. This game really is a thinker. A lot of decisions here. Alright, he's gonna makers. We're not resing. Gonna get the interface access 4. Ouch. Don't score with the Astro here. Please. He wants to sand the NAPD. Like, he feels like it's going to get stim hacked or something if he advances it. You can't be too scared to advance your NAPDs. It's kind of what they're for. It's to be hard to steal. I don't like these. Every turn, I notice this. People, like, they don't want to take 8. They, like, draw and discard a card and then take 6 when they play this deck. It drives me off the wall. I don't understand. Like, they feel like they need to be seeing new cards all the time, and you don't. You everything you need right now. You gonna play another Makers here? Yep. All right, we're in R&D lockdown here. Looking bad. I mean, he's drawing for more multi-access, which is good to draw, but it's like, you don't need to do that now. But I do have a bias. My advice is really, like, control biased. I don't like having pressure and then losing pressure by doing things that cost money or don't make money. But not everybody plays that way. Thing is, any card in this remote threatens game over because he has the Astro counter and the Sansan. This icing, like, this isn't good. You're not going to keep him out. And you need this money to threaten winning, like to make the cards you put in here credible. All right, doing it again. That's the third one. Yeah. All right, good value here. Ooh, $2. 3 more. Woo! Last one again. Yeah, like this is good. Oh, I was lied to. This was the toll booth. That makes the jamming of the Astro make a little bit more sense. All right. So Ruby takes it. If you want to play in the next league, it starts on July 24th. There will be a new deck, which is an aggressive Gabe deck, which we have to decide still if it's going to replace the Andy deck or not. I'm leaning towards replacing it, just for this one time, just to keep the deck numbers low. So that should be interesting. It's going to have some more classic cards that didn't really get represented yet in the league, stuff like Emergency Shutdown, Sneak Door Beta, some core or almost core cards that I feel like newer people should be exposed to and get to play with. It's also going to be a deck that floats tags, so people will have to decide, make the adjustment, maybe not floating those tags against the deck with Scorch. Yeah, it should be interesting. So that starts in a couple weeks. Please join up. Whether you're new to the game or you feel like you just want to brush up on your fundies, you can join. Anybody's welcome to play. All I ask is that if you want to build your fundamentals but you're a more experienced player, maybe just diagnose which decks you feel like are the worst or which you feel the least comfortable with and force yourself to play those. And then maybe you'll learn more and you won't crush anybody too badly. So thanks for watching, and I will stream the playoffs next league also. Have a good one.